Welcome to Meg's Mysteries, November Nightmares. Welcome all. I see you've come back for more nightmarish tales. This is your hostess, Queen of the Evening, Isadora, Mistress of Mayhem. So glad you tuned in for more of Midnight Madness. Our sponsor, Sleep Ease. One pill will make you dream, dream, dream. You never know what your dreams will be, so sit back and listen to more of November Nightmare Stories. This one's called Nightshades. Some old rumors and gossips are how nightmares are made. You heard a story and it gets embellished more and more every time someone tells it. They add a little of their own words to make it a little more exciting and sometimes more terrifying, especially when a little kid is telling it and trying to scare their friends. There was an old lady in our town. The kids called her Ellie Bones. She lived alone with her black cat, Nightshade, in an old broken-down house. This house was known as the Dare House. I dare you to go knock on the door. They say she was a witch, but I didn't think so. But we were all afraid to find out. In her yard, she had many strange and beautiful plants. Foxglove, Christmas rose, and belladonna, the most poisonous, and she had much, much more. The big kids used to tell us, they are poison nightshades, and she makes a brew of poison with them. So if anyone bothers her, beware, she can get rid of them. She invites you in for some of her special tea, and you just can't resist it when she invites you. You go in, drink the tea. Then she buries you in her yard, for her garden loves fresh fertilizer. We all had nightmares after hearing that one. The story went all over town, and it was a tale that we would tell at our sleepovers and campouts. After that, we all had nightmares. So we all take care passing by our house, never to go alone and never at night. But one day, I was walking home alone, coming home from school, and her cat, Nightshades, jumped out of her yard into the street. She scared me, but I picked her up and brought her back to the house. I didn't want her to get hit by a car, but I put my fears aside and I knocked on the door. She answered, but instead of a witch, she was just an old kind lady who thanked me with a smile. She said, "I know it took courage to come, and you can tell the other kids I'm not a witch." She invited me in, and then she showed me all her plants. And she said, "Some are healthy remedies, but some can be poisonous. If used right, they can be cures for all ailments." "You eat tomatoes and peppers, don't you?" I said, "Yes, I love them, and we grow many in our garden." She smiled and said, "They are also in the nightshade family, as these plants are. You see, some things you think can harm you are safe if you use them the right way. Just look at me. I'm not a witch. I'm just an old lady, and I wouldn't harm a fly." Well, instead of nightmares, I made a new friend. She was just a sweet old lady, so I told everybody about her, and I would wave every time I saw her out in her garden. And the other kids stopped telling the rumor about her being a witch. They also waved as they went by. She just smiled. What scares you as a kid? I know we all had nightmares, some silly, and some could be true. Are you still getting them? I do. Here are more. Stay and listen. But they're only dreams, right? This one's called The Graveyard. What can I say? We all need a place to go after we leave this earth. We all need a graveyard or a crypt to lay down our bones. Sometimes we're visited by family members. It's a place they can come pay their respects to loved ones. So why are they so scary? And why are we all so scared of them? When you are a young child, your imagination can go wild, and many things can play tricks on you. Ghosts and spirits seem to come alive when the darkness comes. I had one such encounter. I was passing by the graveyard late one night, coming home from a friend's house. It was a foggy and cold fall night. I was used to the walk. I've done it many times, but this night was different. It seemed someone was there with me, figures following me along. I looked and saw no one, so I kept walking faster and faster, my heart beating out of my chest. Then I saw a figure coming from the grave. Or was it just a foggy mist rising from the cold ground? Well, I didn't want to wait to find out. I ran all the way home. And yes, I had nightmares for a long time. I never went that way again, especially at night. So what do you think it was? A spirit or just a fog? Or maybe something else? Here's another one for you, the scarecrow. Gardens are supposed to be a beautiful place for growing plants and vegetables. We had a huge garden and grew everything we needed. It was also my wonderful playground, where I ran free and played all day with my friends, hiding in the cornfields, playing hide and seek, cowboys and Indians. We just used our imagination for all kinds of adventures. Until the day of the scarecrow. I don't know how, but it was just there one day. It was not there just to scare the crows. It scared all of us, and whoever made it, I think it was my brother, wanted to keep us out, not just the birds. It was the scariest scarecrow, not like the Wizard of Oz friendly one, but a terrifying, gruesome one, a true horror monster. We all swore it came to life when you looked at it. As frightened as I was also drawn to look at it. I swear it moved. I would look at it when the moon shined in on my bedroom window, and it seemed to come closer and closer to the house. Every time I looked at it, it was really coming for me. I couldn't sleep for weeks, so finally they took it down, but I still see that face in my dreams. Do you think it was only a nightmare or something sinister? And here is the last one for you. It's called the portrait. We all have a family portrait or picture of some long ago relative dressed in old-fashioned clothes, looking stern and sometimes terrifying. It seems their eyes follow you everywhere you go, like they're watching you, your every move, with their disappointing stares. Maybe they're mad at you because you're among the living and they're just an old, faded memory. They say a picture or portrait captures your soul. Maybe it's true, and they're imprisoned in the portrait for all of eternity, just to stare out at the living. Well, my aunt had one such portrait of a great relative, and everyone who saw it said, "It looks right at me and follows me with those eyes everywhere I go." This one so happened to be in the guest bedroom, where we stayed when we were kids, sharing the big bed, my sister and cousin and me. I was the youngest, and I always asked, why is that lady so mean, and why is she trying to scare us? I was just told, close your eyes and go to sleep, don't look at her. But how could I sleep? So I kept one eye on her, watching her, and she was watching me. The others fell asleep, but I knew better. She was out to get me. I said, "You're not real, you can't hurt me." Just then the portrait fell off the wall with a loud crash. That did it. Everybody in the house woke up, came running into the bedroom. My aunt cried out, "What happened? That's been hanging there for years." I said she was trying to get me. As they made us go out of the room, I peeked back at her. She was still following me with those eyes. Well, I had many nightmares of her, and I never went near that room again. Is she still waiting and watching? What are your thoughts? Do you have a portrait or picture that watches you too? Isadora here. I hope you enjoyed some of our tales, and remember, they're only dreams. Or are they? The midnight hour is near, so don't you fear. Dreams can't hurt you. So sweet dreams until next time. Have a good night.